So let's get started on Photos for Mac. What's new in macOS 15 Sequoia? So we're going to start off with the new library layout. That's kind of like the bigger change, especially for the mobile devices, not so much for this one, but let's jump right in, take a look and see what we get. Okay, so here we are in my photos. Let me kind of get some things arranged here for you real quick. So up here you can tell I'm in the Photos app. So down here on my dock is where I found my photos. If you do not have photos on your dock, you could look in the Launchpad. That's where we find all of our different applications. So there is our Photos app right there. Now that I have that opened up here in my menu, it tells me I'm in Photos and I've got my photo window. We're going to start off in the left column and we're going to be looking here in the Photos area, and we're going to be looking at the library. Notice they have this broken up into Photos, Devices, and Collections are the main categories. Down here we also have a Sharing area. So here is that left column. If you don't have a left column, you might need to show it or turn it on. And so in the View menu is normally, let me double check and make sure that I can find this. I don't see it there. Here's the real way to be able to figure this out, is if your window's not big enough, notice that left column will disappear on you and you don't have a left column, right? And so you can't find the navigation. So what you need to do is make your window bigger. I'm going to click and drag on the bottom corner, and as soon as I get the window big enough, that left column shows back up. Okay, on the iPad, there's a little button you can click. It opens and closes what we call the drawer. That's a drawer. But for this drawer, we just need to make sure the window's big enough that we can actually see everything. Okay, now that we're here in the library, across the top, we're going to just kind of give you a tour of the menu, or the toolbar as we call it. This very first icon right here is going to take us in and out of what is called aspect ratio mode and then squared mode, right? So we can actually square off all the photos, so we can just kind of see what's in there, or we can see the aspect ratio, meaning is it portrait or is it landscaped. We also have a slider, so we can make these pictures bigger or smaller, basically allowing us to see more or less. So I can decide how big I want them. And then I can also change the square and then still go make them bigger or smaller depending on how much of my library I want to be able to see at one time. So just know that this is customizable as far as the size of the photos, and do we see the aspect ratios. Right now I'm in the All Photos area. I could go up to see it by the month and then scroll through by month, or go to the year and scroll through by year. We used to have year, month, and day. Even before that, we had like moment and other weird things, but they finally got it to a chronological. And just know that as I find the year I want to, I can drill down into it. Right, there are my babies when they were babies back in 2019. And so now I'm at the month level, and then if I drill in again, I'm now in All Photos, and that's when it's going to lay it out and show me everything that is in that time range. Notice up here we do have the time range of what's on my screen, and as I scroll, that time range is going to change, telling me what I'm actually looking at. If I want to, it is an up the hierarchy and down the hierarchy situation, where if I want to very quickly move, I should go all the way to year and go, well, I'm looking for something that's in 2014, then drill down into it by month to figure out what I want to actually find, and then go into the month to get to the All Photos so that I'm seeing everything. Also, once we're down to the All Photos area, I want you to notice we have this filter right here. I'm now looking at all items, but if I wanted to, I could be filtering to favorites, only looking at edited photos, photos versus videos. And when it says photos, it means just photos, no videos, and videos means all videos, no photos. Do I want to see screenshots? Something that Mac has that iPhone and iPad doesn't have is this keyword manager. And that's where I can actually define keywords that I'm applying to photos to search for later. Notice I have things like tree or dog or kids. So I can click here and edit these keywords and say, well, I don't need white dog anymore. I'm going to remove that one. right? Or if I want to rename something, I totally could, right? These keywords are if I'm in a single photo and I hit this I button right here, that's the info button, and this is where I could add a keyword. Now, if I were to just type right here, I type in logo and hit enter, I've created that as a keyword, right? And if I go back to my keyword manager here, then that's going to show up in this list, right? So we do a little bit more with keywords if we want to kind of group photos by a keyword. Yes, you absolutely can go into any photo that you want to. And here, if I wanted to say this was a dog, I could tell it to use the keyword dog. So yes, I absolutely can use multiple keywords. I did this with a guy that had a lot of photos of fishing and hunting, and we wanted to separate them so that we could very quickly find fishing photos versus hunting photos. But they were both outdoors photos, right? So things like that. One of the really cool things is the search right here. I'll show you this, and I tried this in the last class and it failed. Maybe I'll have better luck here. If I type in the word tree, notice it actually says, am I looking for a tree trunk or a tree branch, right? Or what kind of tree, right? Now, unfortunately for me, it kind of bums me out. This used to actually break out even more and say like Christmas tree or palm tree or, you know, different kinds of trees. I might just not have enough photos in this library, but in my bigger library, it actually does say, are you looking for Christmas trees or palm trees? So those are called categories, and that's a very powerful way to search. And because it does this categorization, you don't need keywords nearly as much as we used to. Also for pets and dogs, notice I've got a keyword of dog, but the people and pets area now does pets, where before it was facial recognition for only people, but now it will do animals, and I'll show you that once we get to that section. Okay, moving along, we just looked at the filters and what our filters are. Again, I said the I is going to give me information about a single photo that I'm looking at. Of course, in here I could add a caption or a keyword. This is where I can tell the location. I can also change the location if I want to. So I can edit that, add a title, all sorts of things I can do in the info area. Here's my sharing area. Everybody knows I love the share button. That's the little triangle, square with an up arrow coming out of it. I could very quickly share this to anybody I've been texting with. Put it in a shared album, airdrop it, email, messages, put it into a notes, into a reminder. I could set it as my wallpaper. So a lot of different sharing options very available to me. The heart is, we used to have stars, right? It's 1 through 5 stars. Now we can heart things. This is a favorite photo. This is not a favorite photo, right? So if I do put a favorite on it, here's my favorite area in the library in the photos list. And so if I put a heart on it, it will show up here in the favorites area. If I take the heart off of it, you'll notice it disappears because it is now not in the favorites area because it's not labeled a favorite, right? But that's what the heart's for. It's the easiest way to make what I say the cream rise to the top, right? How do I find things quickly and easily? Well, put hearts on your best photos, and then when you're looking for good stuff, go to the favorites area to find your best photos. Here is an interesting little button that's going to just rotate your photo. So if you click this, it's actually going to just turn it for you right there in the library. Also, if you notice, if I hit my Option key, it'll change it and spin it in the other direction. This is the only really editing feature that we have that's not inside of the Edit button for a single photo. So if I were to go into the photo, I could hit this Edit button. Right, and we also have the rotate and we have the magic wand for auto enhance. But if I'm not in the photo and I'm in this area, rotate the photo is the only option that I really have as far as editing that photo. And then the search area, we already kind of talked about this, but I can type in the word dog and it's going to search for pictures with dogs in it. I could type in tree, it's going to find pictures that have trees in them. Sunset, water, things like that. I love the search and I love the new categories. So just know that that is like one of the easiest and most powerful ways to find every picture of a person or a dog or a whatever. Or even with a person, we're going to use the facial recognition. But again, it has much better identification of things. I want you to notice one other thing when we get into a single photo, and that's going to be that this right here, this little eye, now has that little star shape on it and a little symbol inside of it. And it says like get info and look up this photo, meaning it can tell that's an owl inside the photo. And if I click this button, right, it's gonna pop up, and notice right here is a little symbol saying that this is an owl. And if I click on it, it's actually going to go out on the web and bring me more information about this item. This recognition that's built in now, it's a great horned owl. It can even tell me what kind of owl it is. This works for like book titles, album covers, flowers and plants. There's just a whole bunch of new things that are built into photos now, and it's when this info symbol gets that little sparkle look to it, means there's something in this photo I recognize, and if you click on it and then on the symbol inside of the photo, I will go to the internet, search for it, and give you identifying information about it. A pair of shoes, right? All sorts of anything that it recognizes. Let's go see if it recognizes anything here. Nope, see the eye is just an eye on this one. It does not recognize the unicorn floaty. Good enough. Okay, so that is our library area. I already just mentioned favorites is right here at the top. It was kind of funny in iPhone and an iPad, we have to actually like add favorites to our pinned collections area to have it be this accessible. We hear it's just part of the photos area. I want you to notice also this little down arrow. I can collapse and expand this area. Any of these areas I can collapse and expand. So if you come in here and you're like, oh, I don't have anything in my left column, you got to take your cursor over it so that little right pointing arrow shows up to expand that area. Okay, so the favorites area right here, and it is just, if you put a heart on something, it will show up here, and if you take the heart off of something, it will disappear from here. This is a smart album, so it is an album of photos. In photos, all the photos live in the library, and albums have references to them. So these are not duplicated. There's not a copy in favorites and a copy in the library. There's one photo, it's in the library, and because it has a heart, this smart album is filtering the entire library down to just things with hearts. Here's my recently saved area, and this is just a quick access to like, well, what have I imported? What have I added to the library recently saved? And then here's the map area. I love the map. If you're using an iPhone and you have GPS built in, then it's going to show up on the map right here. And I love this because things like I can say, well, here's all my Hawaii photos, right? Here's photos I took up when I was up in Alaska. And now I can literally just go into it and see all my Alaska pictures, right? Or even for here in Portland, if I zoom in, then they're going to start spreading out and showing that, well, I didn't take every picture right there. Some of them were at the coast and some of them were on the mountain. Okay, so I can really kind of zoom in and see where. This Maps is very accessible because it's in this Photos drop-down, where an iPhone and the iPad, it's under the Utilities menu, and you actually have to go dig for it and go find it. I don't really love that about the others because, to me, the map is one of the best ways of finding things. Okay. I didn't mention devices section in the handout because it only shows up if there's a device connected. I happen to have my iPhone connected to this computer. That's the camera I'm using, is actually my iPhone 15. That's why this says that there is a device attached. So if you connect an iPhone or a digital camera to your computer, this devices area is where it's going to show up. And then if you go in there, it's where you can say import all or select photos and import the selected photos. I'm not going to be able to show you that just right now because I don't really want to import anything. I do want you to notice that these 11 photos have already been imported and all of these photos have not been imported. I'm free at this point to click on a couple of photos and just say import these 2 photos if that's what I want to do. Or import all. And also, do I want to put them in a specific album or just dump them into the library itself without separating them into an album?